In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Hello and welcome everyone to today's episode of Agriculture for Today, where we promote smart solutions for a greener harvest. My name is Esther Itifia, your host. And remember, this is a media for the Agricultural Development Project of the GSA Initiative, that is the Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative, an NGO that is committed to supporting African farmers through innovative and profitable agricultural practices. Now today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic in the agricultural sector, one that raises important questions for Nigerian farmers, agribusinesses, even consumers. Our topic today is, can foreign agricultural partnerships really help Nigerian farmers? Now recently, according to a publication released on the US Consulate portal, following a two-day agricultural trade event held in Lagos, the United States announced an expanded support for agricultural trade with Nigeria through financing an initiative known as the GSM 102 Export Credit Guarantee Program. The event involved officials from the US Department of Agriculture, Nigerian banks, agribusiness stakeholders, agricultural importers and exporters, and other commercial institutions. I know the name GSM 102 already sounds like a course somebody failed in the university, but in simple terms, the program is just designed to help Nigerian banks and businesses access financing support for importing agricultural products and inputs from the United States. And according to the publication, agricultural trade between Nigeria and the United States increased significantly in 2025, rising from about $415 million in 2024 to over $760 million in 2025. Naturally, many people may hear this kind of news and ask, okay, but how does this actually affect me as a farmer in Nigeria? And honestly, this is a very important question. Because if we look at it, agriculture today is becoming increasingly connected to financing, trade, technology, mechanization, food systems, and the private sector investment. Modern agriculture is no longer just about planting and harvesting, right? Because if it's just about planting and harvesting, then we wouldn't have any hassle. But now we look at financing. Without the capital to finance agricultural production, in fact, we cannot even start to begin with. One major issue many Nigerian farmers also continue to face, like we just said, is the high cost of agricultural production, from fertilizers to improved seeds, herbicides, labor, transportation, machinery, storage, irrigation, and just to name a few. Farming has become increasingly expensive. Sometimes, even before the farmer even plants the first seed, expenses alone have already started to discourage the farmer from even starting the season in the first place. And this is one of the reasons why discussions around agricultural financing, international partnerships are becoming globally important. Because access to affordable inputs and financing can significantly affect productivity and food production. One statement I find very important from that publication and that stood out was that we are shifting from aid to trade. And honestly, this statement is very important because it just simply means that countries are now gradually moving from relationship-based, mainly on donations and intervention, to programs that are now focusing more on business partnerships, investment, trade opportunities, and commercial cooperation. In simple terms, the conversation is gradually changing from how can we help the farmers to survive and to how can agriculture become more profitable, sustainable, and commercially competitive. This is an important shift because agriculture cannot continue to depend just on sympathy and donations alone. Now, when we look at everything we have talked about, the importance of agriculture and the need for financing and partnerships for these international bodies, we begin to see how we can adapt it to the realities of farmers in Nigeria. Well, let's go on a short break, and when we return, we will look briefly at whether international agricultural collaborations can truly translate into long-term benefits for the farmers at the grassroots level. Stay tuned.
In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Before the break, we were discussing about the recent agricultural and financing partnership between Nigeria and the United States and what developments like this could mean for Nigerian agriculture. Let's take it a bit further. We know that agriculture must become profitable enough to even attract any of these investments and partnerships. We must have this attractive aspects of agriculture to bring in investment, innovation, young people, agribusinesses, and long-term growth overall. But one of the possible advantages of this partnership is improved access to agricultural inputs and technologies. For example, if financing systems improve agribusinesses, importers may find it easier to access machineries, processing equipment, storage systems, irrigation tools, improved agricultural products, and mechanization services. And these can potentially improve productivity and efficiency within the agricultural sector. Now, whether these benefits eventually reach the smallholder farmers effectively and if implementation is done properly is another discussion altogether. Because Nigerians well know, especially the Nigerian farmer, we know that sometimes these large policies and announcements will sound so grandiose and impressive at the conferences, but the farmers in the village are wondering, this announcement, does it really relate to me? How does it affect me buying fertilizer at an affordable price? Does it affect it or does it not? He wants to purchase fertilizer at a good quality and also at affordable prices during the season. This is a valid question for all farmers because the true impact of agricultural partnerships should eventually reflect into the practical realities of the farmers, such as the food prices, productivity, farmers' income, access to inputs, and business opportunities. Another important aspect of this discussion that we'll look at is food security. As populations continue to grow globally, countries are becoming increasingly concerned about strengthening food systems and ensuring stable food supply chain. And Nigeria is no exception, with our population that keeps increasing every year. This is one reason why the government and institutions are paying closer attention to agricultural financing, mechanization, storage, processing, trade, and agricultural investment. Because food security is no longer just an agricultural issue. It is now an economic issue, a social issue, and even a national security issue. Because if there's no food, we know a lot of crime would happen just for people to survive. And honestly, recent realities have shown this clearly with the trends happening all over in Nigeria. Food prices continue to rise in many areas. Farmers are battling increasing production costs, Climate-related challenges are affecting farm activities, leading to low yield and even post-harvest loss. All these are the effects of not having a proper financing and good infrastructure here in the agricultural sector. Post-harvest losses also affect food availability and profitability. So naturally, partnerships and investment that strengthen agricultural systems are receiving increasing attention. Another interesting part of this conversation is the role of agribusiness and young people. Because modern agriculture today is creating opportunities far beyond traditional farming alone. Today, agriculture includes processing commodities, trading agricultural inputs, agricultural technology, logistics, storage, exports, mechanization services, agricultural consulting, digital agriculture, agribusiness, entrepreneurship, and a lot more. And this is one of the many reasons why a lot of young people are beginning to troop into agriculture, because they are seeing the potential of agriculture now. It is no longer the image we have of manual labor and just suffering to make ends meet, but the youths are beginning to see it as a business, innovation, and also an opportunity for career growth. Of course, international partnerships cannot solve all the agricultural challenges in Nigeria. Issues like poor rural infrastructure, and this is a big problem for a lot of farmers, because one of the big hits of poor rural infrastructure is bad roads. The bad roads are bad, and the roads leading from the farm down to the market becomes inaccessible, causing delay in transportation and leading to post-harvest losses of very highly perishable vegetable crops. We also have issues of insecurity, unstable markets, inadequate storage systems, poor harvest losses, access to local financing remains a very important concern. We keep hearing, oh, there's financing, there's this announcement that there's financing available for farmers, but accessing it is still a problem for the local farmers there in the village. Because even if financing improves internationally, implementation locally still matters. We have to adapt implementation to the local farmers, the realities of the local farmers, to improve their productivity and efficiency. And this is where policy consistency, infrastructure development, local agricultural support systems become very important. We should be a nation that talks and do. We bring financing, we bring infrastructure, and make it accessible to the local farmers. One important thing to understand is that agriculture is increasingly becoming global. Countries are paying closer attention to food systems, agricultural supply chains, commodity markets, export standards, and agricultural trade relationship. And for Nigeria, this presents both opportunities and also an important responsibility for the nation and for the farmers. Because while international partnerships can provide opportunities for financing, technology, and trade, Nigeria must also continue strengthening local production systems and supporting the local farmers effectively. Because ultimately, strong agriculture is built not only through partnerships, but through functional systems at home. And honestly, this conversation is important because agriculture remains one of the biggest sectors in Nigeria and globally that is capable of creating jobs in thousands, improving food security, supporting industries, reducing poverty, and driving economic growth to another level. So discussions around financing, trade, investment, and agricultural partnerships are conversations that directly affect the farmer, agribusiness, consumer, the economy, and the nation as a whole. And perhaps the bigger question now is not just simply will partnership exist, but rather how can these partnerships create real and measurable impact for Nigerian farmers and agribusinesses at the grassroots level? Because surprisingly, about 92% of Nigerian farmers are the smallholder farmers. So that should be the target audience when trying to make sure that implementation is properly done from the grassroots level up to the final consumers. That is the conversation we should be having in the agricultural sector when all these policies and financing partnerships are being talked about. This has been it on agriculture for today and tomorrow. Remember, this is a media for the Agricultural Development Project of the GSA initiative. I remain your host, Esther Itefia. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.
In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.